lesson and a tour. We're going through Regina, Saskatchewan today. There's no vlog for today. My regular videos would be vlogs of my life as a truck driver, but seeing as I'm probably at home today, not vlogging, I'm going to give you a little history lesson on the city of Regina as we tour through it at 100 billion kilometers an hour. Regina was originally known as Pile of Bones. The reason they called it Pile of Bones was when the Europeans, the British, first got here, the buffalo roamed the prairies by the millions. They were what sustained the native Indians here. And what we did was we killed them all. We killed them all and we piled all their bones in one big pile. And that is the site of current-day Regina. So when I refer to the city as Pile of Bones, that's why. Big pile of buffalo bones. Okay, let's get into this here. Regina is the capital city of the province of Saskatchewan in Canada. It is just west of Manitoba, just south of the Northwest Territories. It is east of Alberta, and it is north of the U.S. states of North Dakota and Montana. The city was established in 1882. So it's not that old, it's kind of a newer city. The city is the second largest in the province, and it's a cultural and commercial center for southern Saskatchewan. Regina is considered the cathedral city of the Roman Catholic and Romanian Orthodox churches. Very Catholic town, apparently. Citizens of Regina are referred to as Reginians. Regina is also home to the CFL Canadian Football League's Saskatchewan Roughriders, arch rivals of my own Manitoba team, which is Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Almost called them the Manitoba Blue Bombers. Woo! That would be wrong. Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Greatest CFL team in the league. But anyways, moving on. In 2013, this year, Regina was named the 6th best Canadian mid-sized city and the 17th best overall in which to live in. That was by Money Sense magazine. Regina was previously the seat of the government of the Northwest Territories. The current provinces of Saskatchewan and Alberta formed out of the Northwest Territories. It was named by Queen Victoria. Pardon me, it was named after Queen Victoria by her daughter, Princess Louise, who then became the Governor General of Canada. You're wondering, who's the Governor General of Canada? What is that? Well, the Governor General is a Canadian who represents our Queen who sits in England. We figured, you know, the Queen is so far away, how does she even know what's going on out here in Canada? So she said, okay, we'll assign a Canadian to represent her in our government here in Canada. So that way, technically, all our decisions are made by Canadians, but she does still have the final veto, as she still is our Queen. Queen Elizabeth II, she's still kicking. So unlike other planned cities in the Canadian West, Regina is located on a treeless, flat plain and has few topographical features other than the small spring runoff creek of Wascana. Early planners took advantage of this little creek and dammed it to create a decorative lake in the south of the central business district. So they got a little lake there now. Good for them. Good for you, Regina. Got a nice little lake there. Regina's importance was further secured when the new province of Saskatchewan designated the city as its capital in 1906. The Wascana Centre, created around the focal point of Wascana Lake, remains Regina's signal attraction. It contains the Provincial Legislative Building, both campuses of the University of Regina, the Provincial Museum of Natural History, the Regina Conservatory, the original Regina College buildings, the Saskatchewan Science Centre, and the Norman Mackenzie Art Gallery, and also the Saskatchewan Centre of Arts. Don't forget that. The residential neighborhoods in Regina are largely indistinguishable from those of other Western Canadian cities, but several precincts stand out a little bit. namely Lakeview and the Crescents, both of which lie directly south of downtown. Immediately to the north of the Central Business District is the Old Warehouse District, increasingly the focus of shopping and residential development, as in other western cities of North America. Precipitory contains shopping malls and big box stores, so just like any other North American city is what we're trying to say here. In 1912, the Regina cyclone destroyed much of the town. In the 1930s, the Regina riot destroyed more of it. In the 1930s, the Great Depression and drought, which hit the Canadian prairies particularly hard with their economic focus on dryland grain farming. In recent years, Saskatchewan's agricultural and mineral resources have come into new demand, and it is widely expected to enter a new period of strong economic growth. You go, Saskatchewan, you give her. Alright, let's talk a little bit of history about this Regina. Like I said earlier, Regina was established in 1882 when it became clear that Edgar Dewdney, the Lieutenant Governor of the Northwest Territories, issued the previously established and considered Battleford, Troy, and Fort Capel as a territorial seat of government. So if that didn't make sense to you, the Lieutenant Governor to the states that would be called the Lieutenant Governor, Edgar Dewdney, he was considering what should be the capital of Saskatchewan. He was considering Battleford, Troy, and Fort Capel because those lands were a little better watered, they had more trees, and it just seemed a better metropole for the Canadian Plains. But they eventually went with the Pile of Bones, which is current-day Regina. It wasn't their first choice because it's in the mid of the arid and featureless grassland. Not gonna lie, Regina's pretty boring. It's in the middle of nowhere. Sorry, Regina, I don't mean any offense to you. Nothing against you, just your terrain is a little bit lacking of interest. But hey, that's just my own personal opinion. Yeah. So that's a little bit of history. There's a lot more history here. I'm reading off the Wikipedia online. If you want to learn more about Regina, Saskatchewan, go ahead and Google it. Very interesting city, very small city. Has a population of just over 193,000 souls. And covers about 140 square kilometers, I believe, or 56 square miles. Its elevation is 577 meters, or 1,893 feet above sea level. So there's your education on Regina. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. I know there's not much to see here, but for those of you who haven't been here before, now you've seen the freeway leading through Regina. I know I can't take you downtown right now, but you know a little bit of history of the town I just traveled through. And I know I'm a little hard on Saskatchewan. I realize that. Just want to say I have nothing against Saskatchewan. Just you have to understand, I'm Manitoban. So I have a natural rivalry with Saskatchewan. It's nothing personal. It's just we have a friendly rivalry going, and that's just what it is. It's friendly. So we like to pick them apart, and they like to pick us apart. So that's it. I'm going to shut up now. You enjoy the rest of the ride.